Well, I'm moving kind of slow today. Normally, I like to go to bed relatively early, and I get up very early each day. Last night, however, I decided to stay up and watch the Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight. I have no idea why, but I did. And you know, as they say, nothing good happens after midnight. That was confirmed after watching that fight. It was a real snoozer. It was. Jake Paul was declared the winner, although I think the real winners are everyone that didn't stay up to watch the fight. And the worst part was, it went exactly the way I expected it to. You know, I don't know if it was fixed or scripted or whatever, but I knew Jake Paul was going to win. You do have to give Mike Tyson credit, though, for getting back in the ring at age 58, same age as me. But, yeah, it was just, wasn't a good fight. The good fight was the one before it. That was the two young women. And a matter of fact, the one that lost, I thought dominated the whole fight. I think that girl could have beat up both Mike Tyson and Jake Paul at the same time. Now, that would have been worth a watch. That would have been. And Netflix, they were struggling as well with the streaming. It wasn't loading. It was all blurry. It was just time would have been better spent getting a good night's sleep. But anyway, I'm down here at the wood yard. I just fixed the auger on the excavator. What happened was, when we went to Colorado, I had this on the machine and I had the bid on and I was in a hurry and I just parked it. I knew I shouldn't have done it, but over the next 2 weeks, the thumb bled down just a little bit. I don't know exactly what happened, but things kind of settled out and I broke this fitting right here. You couldn't really tell it was broken, but it was leaking. So Levi ran down the other day, picked up a new one, and I just put this on this morning. I think I have everything tightened up properly. We're going to fire it up, run it for a bit, make sure it's okay. I am going to have to do something. I don't know. These hoses are kind of long. The last time I had this on there, I ran them through here. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to hit them or get them tangled up. I just don't like the way it looks. But let's see if it leaks. That's what's most important right now. It appears to be fixed. This is the 12-inch bit for it. I'm not going to put it on right now. Tomorrow or the next day, though, we're going to use this to drill some holes because we're going to build a small little building. Well, not real small. It's going to be like 12 by 30 or 12 by 32. We'll have to see. And it's going to look like the woodshed, just deeper, longer, and taller. Yeah, so this is the woodshed we built a couple years ago. It's 8 by 24. There's just a couple things I'm going to do differently. I think it'll look nicer, but I made this all out of red pine. The only thing I bought for this was the pressure-treated posts and the hardware. And we're going to put this building out by the new clearing, the one that we're going to build. It'll be the whole way out, not in the clearing, but on the right side of the road going out almost to the end. And we'll use it for some additional storage, maybe for some firewood, but mostly for tractor, skid loader attachments, and mini skid attachments, like seasonal stuff that you don't use all the time. You know, that's what we'll put out there. So I'm looking forward to getting that started. And I got plenty of wood to build it with. This is a load that I got yesterday. I have more red pine on the other side of the wood bunker. But I got a few hemlocks in here. There's 3 hemlock, some red pine. There's some cherry right there. That'll be used for firewood. But yeah, I definitely have plenty of wood for what I need. First up, I need to move these monsters out of the way here. This is a big old cherry. This one here, we'll get some nice slabs out of it. Same with that one. And that one right there is actually a butternut. I don't get those too often. Alright, I need to run out for just a bit. Actually, the Huntman is ready to go somewhere. I was going to take the Subaru, but the truck is warmed up. It's not real cold. It's like 48. It's just so damp. It just cuts right through you. Before we run out, we got to put a little wood on the fire. It hasn't been cold enough to like burn non-stop, but I usually have a fire going about 5 or 6 hours a day. And I just let it burn out. It's too hot in here. All right, the Huntman and I just got back from lunch. Before I do anything, I need to just snug up this track on this side of the mini skid. This is the one that we had the roller replaced under warranty. And it seems just a little bit loose. So I gave it a few turns, but like I said, this is the one that they replaced the roller on. And I thought the track was just a hair loose. And then the other day I was pulling a trailer up a hill and it kind of spun once on there, you know what I mean? So I want to snug her down some. Hopefully I don't have any more trouble. right, got another red pine log here on the sawmill. Before we get started, I need to move the tractor and buffalo turbine out of the way so I don't get sawdust all over it. But this red pine that I'm about to saw here, I'm going to use it for some 2x4s that will be used on the new building out by the clearing. Now, I prefer red pine over white pine. Some people see it the other way, but I like red pine. It's a little bit harder than white pine. Like on the Janka hardness scale, white pine is about 420 and red pine is about 560. The Janka hardness scale, that came from a guy, I think he was Austrian born, but he moved to the United States. And what it is, it's the amount of pressure it takes to sink a 11.28 millimeter steel ball halfway into a piece of wood, if that makes sense. So you set a little steel ball on the wood, put a bunch of pressure on it, and that is the Janka hardness scale. White pine is 420 pounds. Red pine is 560. Now, I don't know off the top of my head, but to give you some idea, like white oak is probably around 1,600 pounds, okay? So the red and white pine are softwoods, obviously, but that red pine, that's quite a bit of difference, you know, compared to the white pine. Now, this is a 8-inch wide cant, and I should have sawed it in half before I did this, but I wasn't thinking. So I'm sawing some pieces here, 1.5 inch thick. That top piece is a waste piece. But yeah, these are all 1.5 inch thick, and once I'm done, I'll turn all these on the side, cut them in half, and I will have some beautiful 2x4s. The 2x4s I'm sawing, they're 1.5 inch thick and a true 4 inches wide. Just gives me a little bit more to nail to. All right, when I was bringing that log over, this thing kind of jumped the track again. I mean, it's not throwing the track or anything like that. It's just kind of skipping a little bit. It's adjusted properly. I made a phone call, and they said just tighten it up a little bit more. It'll be fine. So that's what I'm going to do. If this doesn't work, it will be headed back to the dealer again. It always happens when you're backing up and you turn this way. All right, I'm an idiot. I'm just going to say it. So I figured it out. Here's what happened. When this came back from the dealer, I think this track on this side was just a little bit loose, and that's the one that they replaced the roller on. And it would skip every once in a while. I didn't throw a track or anything like that. Always happens when I'm backing up, especially like I was pulling a trailer up a hill the other day and when you turn. So I thought, you know, I need to tighten this track up. So you saw me earlier tighten it up. Well, here I was actually loosening it a little bit. Righty-tighty is not the case here. So if you're turning it right, you're actually loosening the track. Counterclockwise is tightening the track. So I now have it adjusted properly, and it seems to be working fine. And you know the bad part about this is I did that once before. I mean, I did it the right way last time. But anyway, I think it's good to go. But yeah, tomorrow afternoon, we're going to start drilling some holes, and we'll start building a little building. That'll be nice. I love sawing this red pine to be used here. I've mentioned before, there's not a lot of money in this stuff if you're trying to saw for somebody else, unless you're a bigger operation or really, into production, and you came down here for 8 hours a day and cranked out the lumber. That's not the case here. Not a lot of money in this stuff, but you can save an incredible amount of money by sawing your own lumber for your own projects. Beautiful 10-foot 2x4s. And I actually sawed these. They're 1.5 inches thick by 4 inches wide instead of 3.5. Just give me a little bit more room to nail. But anyway, I think that's about it for today's video. I appreciate y'all being here, and I will catch you on the next one.